Okay. All right, folks. Welcome to the pre-event vendor discussion, exhibitor, sponsor, whatever we want to call the folks that are supporting this post-acute community partner event at with Inova. And I am going to share my screen and what I think I'm going to do, Aisha, is I'm going to, for some of you have came to the first vendor event that we went to, but I'm just going to quickly go through some of the slides that I have because I've updated some of them, but it might prompt some questions and ideas. And as we had said, we want to make this interactive. Okay. We want you to be prepared. We want to make this a great event for you and for the attendees. So here's the first slide is, what we've got the first Inova Post-Acute partner event that's been held in a few years, and it's definitely the first to be held at the Inova Center for Personalized Health Conference Center, which is on Innovative Park Drive. It's going to be on the second floor. It's the old mobile campus that Inova has acquired in case you're not familiar with it. The event's going to run from 9:30 to about 2:30. The vendors, which we'll talk about, you all can get in and set up around 8 o'clock. The people who have been invited to this event are Nova team members from across the system, including care management team members, acute and ambulatory, nurse navigators, specialty provider groups, palliative care, oncology, etc. And why we're doing this is to connect the Inova team members, oftentimes folks that can't get out of the office because they're always seeing clients and patients, to meet and connect with community partners to better serve the community of patients, the staff, etc. A question that has been coming up quite a bit is how are these Inova team members going to get there? Well, there's going to be shuttles from all four hospitals, and I think four hospitals, five hospitals maybe. But the shuttles that are coming from the hospitals other than Inova Fairfax, there is going to be a 9:30 drop off that is going to drop people off around 9:30 at the conference center, and then it's going to bring that group back around 11. And then there's going to be an 11:30 drop off, and that's going to bring that group back around 2 to back to their home hospital. In addition, there's going to be ongoing shuttles from Fairfax Hospital throughout the day. And then there's going to be some team members that are going to drive to this event, and they're going to park in the parking lot and come and do that. We're going to try to get into a little bit more details on parking and setup, but this is somewhat of a moving target because we've never held an event of this nature at the conference center. So just, things might change the day of, but this is the conference center map, which probably many of you can't see on the screen. I've sort of I'm zoomed in here for the primary area here. This is the conference center. It has kind of like this circular tower. We've been instructed to tell people there's no parking, stopping, or unloading in front of this tower here. Okay. The event is going to be held on the second floor of this building, and while there is a loading dock that is underneath this building, we have we're not prepared to utilize that loading dock. We may end up directing you there the day of the event if we somehow get some better guidance. So what our game plan right now is that down here, what you have is an open lot, an open parking lot F. And ideally, right here at the end of parking lot F is an ideal unloading area for you to unload your items or just park your car and carry your items into the tower, onto the elevator, and upstairs. If somehow this parking lot F gets filled up, we also have access to park in the garage E. Now, on the screen, it says here, vendor setup begins around 8 in the morning. And we are hoping that everybody is going to be completely set up by no later than 9:15 in the morning. So that is unloading your items, carrying them upstairs, getting them on your table, arranging them how you want them to be arranged. You're all ready to go. And if people start arriving at 9:30, we don't have a bunch of people setting up. We highly recommend that you pack the items for your table so that they could be easily carried. Maybe it's several shopping bags, or if you've got a little hand truck, you could unload that, roll it in, then run back, roll it back to your car, or stick it under your table. But as you're going to see, this event, we hope, is a little bit different than your traditional trick-or-treat style expo that we all go to, where we bring way too much stuff in and we end up taking all that stuff back out to our car. Now, let me pause, and I'm going to stop sharing this screen because that's an outdated slide. Aisha, we don't have to, but do we have a more accurate floor plan photo that we would want to share with this group, or is it best just to have us all wait for the day?
So I can show the one that we discussed last week. That's the closest I have. So
Okay.
just give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up.
Sorry, and I totally forgot that I didn't have that, and you have.
No, it's not a
I don't want
problem.
to put you on the spot.
Nope.
Oh, and then I got to make sure you can share. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So this is a very simple version of how the setup will be. But it's a typical expo kind of community fair setup. We'll have tables in this conference hall. We'll have tables here for all our organizations that are being represented. And then we'll have Inova services over here. This will be kind of like your food area. Conference room 3, we'll have lunches out here. Registration will occur right at the front. The only thing with this floor plan is we are currently a little bit under construction, so it's not fully accurate, but right in this area, if you can even notice, in this area, there is a little bit of construction going on there, but it shouldn't be in the way of anyone's exhibits and or check-in. Every vendor, as you've seen already, Steve has sent out a Google form, and or people have been responsive with who will be attending. We would really highly encourage that you provide us who will be attending, which representatives, because that's how we will do check-in. Upon checking in, you will be given 2 tickets per table for lunch. And we do expect, I wanted to add to Steve's comments that despite the fact that we have multiple arrangements for team members coming in, we do also expect walk-ins. So we will see people who, because underneath on the ground floor, there is a cafeteria, cafe, so team members always walk by. So if we find if there's any that it seems applicable to them, they're always welcome to come in. So we do see an influx of team members coming in.
Okay.
Steve, did you have anything else you wanted to
No,
add?
but one thing that I wanted to point out to y'all is that number one, we were hoping that we're going to have like some special software from the conference center where we could do like an accurate floor plan with the tables and everything like this. But one of the things that we're trying, and do you feel pretty confident on this sort of perimeter style setup? Okay, so one thing that we realized is like that as we brainstorm this is the concept of where we didn't want people's tables to interfere with each other. And so Aisha, came up with this design where it'll sort of be for a a big inner and outer square, and that way hopefully the banners and the things of that nature aren't going to be interfering with each other if we did sort of a traditional row style setup.
Yeah, I'd also like to add tables will be assigned, so day of when you come in to check in, you shall see a little label on each table for which organization will be represented. And that I know I've had received requests, but I cannot guarantee that we cannot guarantee that there will be an outlet near your table. So I want to put that out there ahead of time because based on the table assignments, they're alphabetized and they're based on your specialty type of services that you offer. So we cannot guarantee an outlet. And I'll be pretty honest and candid. Though it's a beautiful conference hall, one thing that's struck lacking is outlets throughout the vicinity. So just wanted to make that clear on the call as well.
Yeah. And then, so as you're looking at this floor plan here, I'm going to share my screen. And this is an image of that room on the left. And this is also an image of the tables that we're using. So these tables are, oh, let's see, okay, these tables are a little bit different than your traditional trade show tables at your senior center health expo. They're 6 feet by 2 feet. They're a little bit smaller, and which I think is a good thing given some of the goals that we have in terms of the or that Inova has for what you're going to be distributing at the expo. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we did that. Then okay, I'm just going to run through some of these points again because is we want you to make an impact at this event. I mean, we want you to dis display your brand and your qualities and use this as a marketing opportunity. As mentioned several times, you have 2 team members that can come to this event. And the other thing that now you saw on the vendor registration attendee form that we recognize that may not be possible to have the same 2 team members there all day. So you've got the opportunity to kind of like swap things out. But what Inova really hopes is that y'all don't, that there's not organizations that abuse this, okay? Is that we know that you want all your marketing reps to be at something like this, but try to pick the folks that can represent your organization the best in the best possible way. And if you need to swap, don't have all 6 of them. Don't, have all 6 of them there at once. Have 2 that come in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. You might get creative, but just, especially for this, things could change in the future. But for now, I mean, we really are trying to focus on each table has 2 representatives, okay? And the other thing is, it's sort of like, the goal of this, many of you know that there are providers out there that have, dozens of offices and dozens of locations. And what's going to help the care managers is that they can go to one table to get information on all of those different locations and not be like, wait a second, you're part of this company? I just was over there at a table down the hall. That's what we're trying to avoid. The tables are not going to come with tablecloths. So bringing your personalized branding table, that's probably one of the best ways to kind of establish your brand. Think about, the content and the flyers and the information is how can you help Inova team members? Think about how you're going to follow up with people that you meet at this event and think about that immediately so you can do an immediate follow-up. Practice what you're going to say at this event, and set up your post-event activities in advance. And we're not supplying name tags. Bring your own name tag. Make sure that so that people know who you are and what you do. I know you can't read this. These are some things to remember. You probably received some of this in our emails, but the raffles and any significant gifts are prohibited. This is not just uh, a random sort of rule that we're establishing. It's many of the Inova staff members are prohibited from receiving any kind of gifts or anything of significant value. And that includes having a contest and winning a contest. So don't think that we're trying to spoil the fun here. This is to keep all of the employees and attendees in alignment and so that nobody gets in trouble. Okay. But what that also does is it enables this to be an event that's not a big trick-or-treating expedition. That's an event where you are the star of the show, where your information is what's important and not, the squishy toys and the candy and things of that nature. And to that regard, for giveaways, what we've basically established is that pens are acceptable, okay, and pen equivalents are acceptable too. So for example, I've got one of these little lens cleaners for my glasses here. I mean, this is about the same price as a pen, so that's an acceptable giveaway if you have to have a giveaway. But I'm going to tell you something, none of you have to have giveaways. All right. That's not what is going to distinguish yourself from the other organizations in the room and to be helpful to the staff that is going to be here. Inova is catering this event, and they've requested not for you not to offer any food, candy, or etc. at your table. Again, we're trying it this way. Perhaps in the future, an event this rule may change, but I think this is a pretty good rule, and it's a healthy rule too. Okay, not to be giving out candy, and the fact that Inova has invested in food sort of makes that something that's already being delivered. Displays and banners are permitted, however, they should be on or they should be confined to the space in front or behind your table. And I'm hoping that the setup that we are imagining here with these two large squares in the rooms will minimize any of this interfering, somebody else's banner interfering on any of your all space. And I just plead with everybody here is that as you are thinking about what is going to be at your table, is to be very conscious of your neighbors and the people around you and the general population in general. I've been to too many of these shows where somebody put up a banner and it actually blocked their next door neighbor or the booth that was in front or behind them. Let's see. The last thing, okay. On our last webinar, a lot of questions were about, can we give away bags, like shopping bags for people to put the brochures in and things like that? And Inova, again, has invested in branded, high quality bags with the Inova logo on it for their employees who are going to be here. And so, hey, if you've got some bags, and stick them under your table. And if for some reason we run out of bags and somebody comes to you and it's like, hey, do you have another bag? Grab it from under your table. That's acceptable. But we don't want every table to be giving away bags, because that's one of the benefits. And food and bag are two things that Inova is supplying there. Okay, and again, just Inova wants this to be an event where you and your organization are the centerpiece, not raffles, candy, and giveaways. And so, creating a flyer that's really spells out how you work with Inova employees, that's a great way to help those employees and help your organization as well. Lastly, I think this is my last slide. This is not only a great opportunity to connect with Inova team members, it's a great opportunity to connect with a lot of influential vendors and providers out there. But a few reminders: don't go around networking with other vendors while they're talking to Inova team members. Wait for the downtime. Like there probably will be downtime with the shuttles coming and going. But these are great opportunities to do a little bit of networking. Looking at the list of the other vendors that are there, figuring out which ones you give referrals to and you get referrals to. That should be another great benefit about being involved with this event. Whew. Okay. Um, Anything, Aisha, that you think that I missed that we need to discuss, and then we'll try to make sure that we answer anybody and everybody's questions that they might have.
Nothing particularly that was missed. I just want to highlight what you mentioned earlier in terms of what you bring. Just be smart with what you're bringing, because we can't confirm. I might be able to confirm tomorrow in terms of a loading dock access. Otherwise, you might be finding yourself carrying items. And if you're going to be carrying a lot, either you're going to do a lot of trips or it's just going to be too much for you. We will have volunteers on site, so they'll be walking around if you're in need of assistance. But yeah, just be mindful of what you bring with you. And then be mindful of your neighbors because you're going to be probably pretty close. So we don't want anyone being overshadowed just because there's a big banner or something in the way.
Yeah, and just like we'll send out a survey after this event to get your feedback, because this really is the first time that this department has held something on this level at this venue. And so just be patient with everybody who's involved with this. The goal is really to help you all as vendors, and then hopefully this will um, lead to a great ongoing event that's constantly improved upon. Okay, and then the other thing to mention, like one of the things that we were very conscious in trying to put together in an equitable manner is this resource directory. And here's, the way that I think about this resource directory is that in the past, that not just this hospital, but other medical systems have held vendor events like this. And if an employee didn't make it to the event, or even if the employee did make it to the event, it's sort of like, they run through the room, they get some brochures, they get some business cards, but then, a week later, they're sort of like, gosh, I was talking to somebody at that event. I forget who it is. And that's the point of the resource directory. It's got everybody's names and contacts information in there. So if a team member couldn't make it to the vendor fair on Wednesday, their coworker could bring them the employees, their manager could bring them the resource guide. If somebody's there and they're trying to remember who they talked to, they could use that as a reference throughout the year. And that's our goal. And again, just like the layout and just like the way that we're doing this, it's probably going to change for future venues, but this is our, the old college try that we're given to make this a really positive event this first time around. Okay. Let's
I
see.
wanted to also add, Steve, we not only will we have hard copies of the resource guide available for team members, we plan to also upload it on our Inova intranet, so it's accessible via PDF for team members. So this it will be a hard copy and a virtual guide or resource for team members. So we hope that team members who weren't able to attend, they can have a takeaway, but they also have an easy access on our website.
Okay. And then let's see. Okay, let's see. Carrie says, is bottled water accessible? And Ayushia replied to that one, that will be provided. We are not allowed any external foods and beverages per the venue. So again, just like the giveaways, the external food, is one of these things there. Okay, let's see. So David asks, so will specialties be next to each other? And Aisha responded, I've worked with our team to mix up the specialties to allow more diversity. Um, However, like the concept is we're sort of starting with alphabetical order. Um, okay. Um, and let's see. I'm going through chat and looking at to see if there's other questions that anybody has. Um, Lots of great people here. This is going to be, like I said, I mean, I'm really charged up just at all the vendors that are being a part of this. And look here, we got Amanda Gordon. She's with the uh Inova Community Health Medical House Call. She's going to be at the event, you know, and she's here on our vendor call too. Great person for everybody to be networking with. Um, let's see. Okay. Um, I don't see any additional questions. I think we've covered it. Um, I think the main thing to remember is you can get there to set up around 8 o'clock. Parking lot F is it's not an underground parking lot, and I'll probably be out there, because for those of you who are vendors, you're used to seeing me helping with parking at a lot of these events. And I think that's going to be a critical thing is keeping that flowing between the 8 and 9 o'clock hours, getting you guys to unload, get your stuff into the building. And then when you get in there, there'll be a team helping you find your table and getting yourself set up. Um, and and hopefully all of us as vendors are going to be able to park in that F lot, but we may direct you to the E parking garage if that gets filled up, but at least you could drop your stuff there on the curb. I did glance at the weather, and it is supposed to be amazing on Wednesday. So that's good that right now that we don't have rain in the forecast, because that could sort of present a situation where you could drop your stuff off, put it on the curb over there. I'll keep an eye on it. And then you go park your car and come back and carry it in. But anything else you can think of, Aisha? Or I think we covered it. That's pretty good. 30 minutes,
Yeah, I think we've covered everything. Oh wait, let me see if there's Q&A.
Oh, I missed, geez. Okay, let's see. Q&A.
Aaron, so it's open to our team members. This event is to the team members and to the organizations who have been invited and have registered to join.
Yeah, so for example, if Shady Acres Assisted Living did not, pay to attend this event and they heard something was going on and they show up there at registration, if they can't show their Inova name badge and they're not on our list of vendors, then we'll take their information and maybe they can participate in a future event. But our goal is to honor the fact that you all are supporting and committing to this event as vendors and not to let all those vendors in that didn't make the commitment. And then the main stars of our show are going to be Inova team members from a wide cross section of departments and professions in the hospital system. Okay. All right. So we answered the questions. I don't see any more chats. So I'm going to make sure to upload this and send it out with all this chat here. I'll send that link out to everybody in case you wanted to reference it, or if you got a team member that you wanted to share this with that's going to be at the event. And that's, my last sort of thing that I'm going to say is that, choose your team members wisely. Like this should not be one of those things where it's sort of like, tomorrow afternoon, you sort of announce to the receptionist in your organization that they're going to sit at the Inova that the Inova vendor fair. Like, this is a great opportunity, and the people that are at your table at this event should be the ideal referral liaisons with the Inova system and with the other vendors in the room. Not just somebody who's taking up space and getting a free lunch on Wednesday. So, all right. Aisha, do I have your thumbs up to hit the end button? Okay, we'll see you all on Wednesday, and you know how to contact me and Aisha if you got any questions. But thanks a million for your support of this event, and we really think it's going to be a cool opportunity for everybody involved.
Thank you.